Hello and welcome back. In the last section, we looked at the category APIs and implemented a few important endpoints there. Okay, and we'll continue our API journey and move forward to the Dish APIs now. Let me quickly head over to the API diagram for the dishes. So we have a few in here, and the most important thing to take up immediately are going to be the creation API, which is going to essentially create the dishes in our system. Then we will have the get all dishes and get dishes by ID. And subsequently, we will also need an API endpoint for the photo of the dish as well. Okay, and we can build on top of these things as we go along. But the first immediate requirement is to get the first four up and running as quickly as possible. Okay, so let's get started straight away. I'll head over to my terminal here. And inside here, I'm going to go ahead and create the skeletal code for the routes, the controllers, and the models. Okay, let's first head over to routes. And in the routes folder, I'll create a new file called dish.js. Okay, I actually ended up creating a directory here. It was not required. Okay, I'll go ahead and delete that. I just need a new file by the name of dish.js. Okay. Alright. And first thing is, I'm going to go ahead and require an express. Express is equal to require express. Okay, super. And then I'll get the router as well. Const router is equal to express. Oops, actually, I made a spelling mistake here. Express.router. And obviously we have to export this one. Module.exports is equal to router. And the first route that you want to define is router.post. And this is going to be on /dishes. And let's say create dish. Okay. And let me go ahead and save this. And I'm going to go ahead and create a controller for the dish now. Let me go ahead and create a new file here, call it dish.js, and inside of here I will say exports.createDish is equal to, it's going to be an arrow function and it's going to be an async one because we're going to be using the async await syntax, async, and it's going to get a request object and response object and also a next object because of the error handling aspect of it. Okay. And what else can we do here? So first thing is, I'll just say res.status is equal to 201, and I'll just go ahead and set a JSON message here with a message of, let's say, dish successfully created successfully. Super. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this, and inside of here I'm going to import that dish controller. Okay, so I'm going to say const create dish is equal to require, let's go one level above into the controllers here and dish.js. Okay, super. So essentially we should be able to invoke this right now, but let's take a look at what the dish object actually contains, right? So I think we had a couple of resource attributes here that were mentioned. So these are the resource attributes that we need: name, description, price, category, and photo. Okay, so likewise, let's go ahead and create the model for this one. We could either do that or yeah, I think let's go ahead and create the model and then wire it up and test that completely. That would make sense because we already know how the wiring works with the category. I think we can go ahead and straight away create the model. Okay, so I'll head over to the model and inside here create a new file called dish.js. Close the other files. Close others. Okay, and let me go in here. I need a few things here. One thing is const mongoose is equal to require mongoose. So we need to create a schema here. Let's go ahead and do that. Const dish schema is equal to mongoose. I think was that schema. Yeah, that was schema. Flower braces, and we'll also put the timestamps is equal to true at the end of it. And then we also obviously have to export this module.exports. Is that right? Module.exports, mongoose.model. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and cut and paste this to conserve my energy on the typing. But this is gonna be a dish schema. Super. So the next thing is we need the name, obviously, right? And that's gonna be of type string. Okay, I think that's how we defined it here, right? That's gonna be of type string, and this is gonna be the string. Okay, and this is gonna be require is equal to true. Okay, and it's gonna be unique, and it's gonna be the max length here. Max length is gonna be 25. I think we gave it. Yeah, max length is 25. That's the name. That's too long actually. Okay, let's go for the description now. Description type is going to be string. Okay, and required obviously is true, and max length is going to be, let's say, 200 characters. Okay, and next one would be price. Type here is going to be number, obviously required is going to be true. And the next one would be photo. Okay, it's going to be slightly different. Photo is going to be, actually we'll have photo slightly later. First we'll test with these three and eventually come to the photo part of it. And then this actually has to have a category. Okay, and the category is going to be of type mongoose object ID, because it's going to refer to a category from our category table. So I'm going to say mongoose dot schema and types dot object ID. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, and ref is gonna be the category, and this is gonna be required true as well. Okay, without the category we don't want to persist any of the dish data. Okay, super. So I think we're good here. We have our schema ready for the dish, and all we have to do is essentially import it in here. This is the category schema. Let's go over the controllers. I'll head over to the dish controller, and in here I'm gonna say const dish is equal to require, and I'm gonna, let's say, go one level above, models slash dish. Super. So we have this integration in here, and the next step is to actually go ahead and create the dish itself in our database. So let's see how we can go ahead and call the create on the dish model. And first thing we want to do is console log essentially the input data, which is going to be in request.body, because this is going to be a post call. So let's say CLG. Okay, and we want to, before that I want to destructure the request.body. So I'm going to say const, and we have name here, name, description, okay, price, okay, and category, of course, and this is going to be equal to request dot. I'm going to say console log all of these things, name. We could just say request.body otherwise, yeah. I'm going to open a try catch block here. Say try catch. Okay. I'm just going to create some more space in here, and I'll go ahead and console log the error up front, Control Alt L. Alright. And in here, what I'm going to do is create a dish variable, and I'm going to say let dish is equal to new dish. And that's going to contain all this data. Okay, and this is going to be an object, by the way. And next thing you want to do is you also want to add the dish.added by, and that's going to be, I'm just going to hard code it for now. We're going to come back and revisit this particular aspect of the application. And the next thing that I want to do is const new dish is equal to dish dot save. So the dish is created right now, and we want to go ahead and return this dish, right? I'm going to set, since we're not taking the photo, we should be okay, but eventually when we send it back, we don't want to be sending back the photo here, okay? So for now, I'm going to say res.status of 201, and we'll just send back the dish data, okay? And that's going to be new dish, okay? In case there is an error, we have to essentially wire it up with the error handling mechanism. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this for now. So we'll come back for the error handling bit shortly. But first thing we want to do is make sure that our create dish is executing fine and it's actually inserting data into our database. Okay. Inside the editor, on the sidebar, I'm going to create another REST request file, and I'm going to call it http.dish rest. Okay, and this is gonna be to create a new dish, of course, and I'm gonna say post http localhost 7787, and it's gonna be dishes, and I think that's about it. Okay, and let's say content type is equal to application/JSON. I have an accept header here of application JSON, and then let's give the data here. Okay, so I'm going to say name. I'm going to give some test data here, not very genuine in nature. It's going to be name test dish, and I will essentially give the same thing for description as well. Okay, price, that's going to be in double quotes. Everything has to be double quotes because this is JSON payload, so anything other than that, it's not going to take that. I'm just going to put some random number. Okay, and what else do we need? We need a category as well, and we need to figure out how do we get that. Okay, so let's say category. This has to be one of the categories that we created. So let's head over to our REST client here again, category.rest. Let's send this get categories call, and this is the category ID that we want to pick. Okay, head over to the REST client again, and this is gonna be the category. Okay, so our REST client is ready to be fired. Okay, so the only thing is we need to still have a few things done here. It has to be API/dishes. Okay, and we also need to wire this up in our index.js. Okay, let's head over to index.js, which should be right here, and in here I'm going to go ahead and import that stuff. Const, I'm going to say dish routes is equal to require routes /dish. Yep, that's right. And I'm also need to say app.use, and with the prefix, of course, and I'm going to say dish routes. Super. And I hope the dish routes are actually exported. Take a quick glance. Yes, it is exported. I think we're in good shape to actually give it a go here. Okay. All right. Fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and do this. Send request. It's created. It didn't return anything. Interestingly, didn't keep any error either. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what we actually got there in terms of the data in the database. We can go here. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. We had 1 collections before. If I refresh, we should get 2 collections. Yes, we do. We have the dishes collection here. Let's double click on that. We should have a new dish created here. It's taking a while sometimes on the cloud, and it's a free tier as well. So there we go. We have a new dish created here. Okay. Interestingly, we didn't get anything back from the API. So that's something that we need to be aware of. Not sure what went wrong there. Let's go to the controllers. What we did was we had to say await here. Apparently we didn't do that, right? So that's something that we missed. Super, we can try one more time, no big deal. So I'm going to say test dish 2. Just going to say test dish 2 here. Dish 2 here. Super. So let's go ahead and give it a go. Yep, this time around we get it, right? And the -__v is still coming back. We need to find a solution for that. We are aware of it. It's definitely on our to-do list, right? So the thing is, we are able to persist our dish minus the photo, of course, right? So that's something that we need to also look at. Alright, so let's take a quick break here. I'll pause for a moment and come back, and the next thing we have to do is how we actually can persist the photo data here, right? And also, of course, we have to introduce the validation schema as well and the error handling. Let's take that up in the next lecture. Take a pause, come back soon.